When the zombie virus became reality, would people react the same way as this man? Sean walked out of his house as usual but didn't notice the city had already changed. The streets were empty, with a few zombies wandering around, yet he couldn't see them. People brushed past him in a hurry, but Sean didn't care. He only had one thing on his mind, the corner convenience store and a bottle of his favorite, happy drink. Wasn't the handprint on the fridge not obvious enough? You've got to admit he was a very focused man. At the checkout he didn't even look for the cashier and just tossed the money on the counter, unaware that the cashier, now a zombie, was standing right behind him. On his way home he almost ran straight into a zombie, but he assumed it was a homeless person, a little disrespectful to zombies, perhaps, and yet he managed to get home unscathed and enjoy his hard-earned soda. If Sean could be called a hidden dragon, then the title of Feng Chu unquestionably belonged to Xiaopeng. He told Sean there was a beautiful girl in the backyard. At that news Sean's interest snapped into focus. The two pals went to the backyard to take a look. When the girl didn't respond, Xiaopeng picked up a stone and threw it. But when the girl turned, the two of them were stunned by her breathtaking looks. Any clear-sighted person could tell something was off about her. Just as the zombies lunged, the two pals started fighting each other. By the time Sean was knocked down, Xiaopeng finally came to his senses, but he was holding a camera, not a weapon. Sean had never seen a woman so forward and felt a little uneasy, so he told Xiaopeng to pull her away. But as soon as Sean got up the girl lunged again. Sean, irritated, shoved her away to show he wasn't some easy target. Unexpectedly, that shove nearly killed her. He knocked her cold. Even more surprisingly, the girl wasn't hurt. She jumped up vigorous as ever. Only then did the slow-witted brothers realize something was wrong, so they rushed back inside to call for help, only to find that no phone would connect. A breaking emergency bulletin flashed on the TV. The zombie virus was spreading through the city. Everyone must stay home and lock their doors and windows. Obviously the two hardly ever locked their door. Sure enough, zombies broke into the house. The two pals turned ashen, scrambling and grabbing whatever was at hand and throwing things wildly until Xiaopeng's hand found an ashtray. By accident they managed to take down a zombie. The broadcast also said you must attack the head to kill a zombie for good. The two brothers exchanged a look. There just happened to be two zombies in the backyard. They decided to use them for testing. That idea wasn't bad at all, except their choice of weapons was ridiculous. They started hurling random junk at the zombies, which did about as much damage as a light massage. After emptying the entire basket of stuff, Xiaopeng grabbed a vinyl record and threw it. Surprisingly, it worked pretty well. Encouraged, the brothers brought out a whole box of records, but after a few throws they realized their aim wasn't that great. In the end, they decided to switch to something simple and brutal. Back inside, the TV announced another warning: anyone bitten would become infected. That's when they suddenly remembered their roommate upstairs. Rushing up, they discovered he had already turned. Sean locked him in the room, just as his mom called. Thinking she'd been bitten, he panicked, until he learned it was his stepdad who got bitten. His mood instantly improved. Worried that his infected stepdad might hurt his mom, Sean came up with a detailed plan. 1. Take out his stepdad. 2. Rescue his mom. 3. Pick up his ex-girlfriend. 4. End the day in style. At the pub, all set, the two brothers took a deep breath, and the moment they burst out the door, a basketball smacked Sean in the face. It was a zombie kid, but no big deal. They floored it and sped off. The streets were chaos, corpses struggling to move again. Soon they reached their first stop, but Xiaopeng suddenly backed out. Sean, used to his cowardice, had no choice but to go alone. He got to his mom's house. Thankfully, she was fine. Seeing his stepdad calmly sitting in the living room, Sean couldn't wait to send him off personally. He had clearly been wanting to do that for a while. But to his surprise, the stepdad was still conscious. Out of respect for his mom, Sean took him along. Just as they were getting into the car, a group of zombies appeared. The stepdad was bitten again. Sean rushed to help, finished off a zombie, and they all piled into the car to escape. According to the plan, the next stop was his ex-girlfriend's place, but she wasn't alone, her two roommates were there too. Once again, the plan went sideways. But by now, Sean had turned into a real fighter. He led the group through the city toward the final destination, the pub. Packed into the small car, they argued endlessly about why they were even going to a bar, not realizing the stepdad beside them was about to turn. Before losing consciousness completely, the stepdad confessed to Sean that he had always wanted to be a good father but didn't know how to show it, that all their conflicts were just misunderstandings. The words hit Sean hard, but it was too late. The stepdad was gone. Realizing he'd turned, the group jumped out of the car and locked him inside. Now they were stranded, no car, and surrounded by zombies. Luckily, the undead were slow. The pub wasn't far, so they decided to cut through a side street. At an intersection, they ran into another group of survivors, old friends, as it turned out. After a brief, awkward chat, they went their separate ways. Just one wall separated them from the pub. But suddenly Sean realized his mom was missing. Hearing her scream, he vaulted over the wall, landing perfectly on the other side, only to see his mother lying on the ground. From the nearby house, something rushed out. Meanwhile, his friends on the other side were panicking. The walls suddenly collapsed, and Sean was swarmed by zombies. Everyone froze in terror, until his ex grabbed a chair and charged forward to rescue him. Sean barely managed to break free as Asian, Liz, threw. Sean grabbed the steel pipe. Under the guidance of the two women, he drove it straight through the zombie, pinning it firmly to the tree. The crisis was over. For the moment, climbing up a ladder, Sean wanted to check the situation outside the bar. What he saw nearly made him lose hope, an endless sea of zombies surrounding the entire place. Getting to the bar safely seemed impossible. Just when everyone was feeling helpless, the impaled zombie on the tree suddenly twitched. That gave Sean a spark of inspiration, a brilliant idea. Cut to the next scene. Among the zombie horde, a few very strange-looking zombies appeared. It was Sean and his group, pretending to be undead, mimicking their stiff movements to blend in. The idea looked ridiculous, but unbelievably, it worked. Not a single zombie noticed their terrible acting. They successfully made it to the bar's entrance, but no matter how loudly they called, no one answered from inside. Worse yet, the noise attracted a nearby zombie. Just as tension peaked, Xiao Pang's phone suddenly rang. To everyone's horror, he calmly answered the call. Sean's rage exploded. He smacked the phone out of Xiao Pang's hand and yelled at him. Unfortunately, that one angry shout drew all the zombies' attention. In panic, the guy with glasses smashed a window, trying to climb in. But that would only bring the zombies inside. Seeing it wouldn't work, Sean stepped up again. He climbed onto a higher spot and shouted loudly, leading the zombies away. The rest of the group rushed into the bar. They waited and waited, but Sean didn't return. The man with glasses suggested sealing all doors and windows, even tried to take Sean's place as leader. But the group refused. Everyone trusted Sean and insisted on waiting for him. Furious, the glasses guy argued with them, until Sean burst in through the back door. He'd shaken off the zombies and made it back safely. Everyone relaxed, drinking and chatting into the night. Then suddenly, the streetlights came on. Sean suggested turning the power back on so they could watch TV. He went to the storage room, flipped the circuit breaker, and also turned on the backlight. That's when he saw them, hundreds of zombies right outside. They had followed them all the way here. Sean rushed to warn the others, but Xiao Pang was already playing a video game, oblivious. Sean and another friend ran to stop him, but it was too late. The loud noise had drawn the zombies straight to the bar. One crashed through the window, and before anyone could recover, the sound system suddenly blasted music. Now they were completely doomed. Sean told the guy with glasses to turn the music off while he and the others held the zombies back. But, as usual, the glasses guy was useless. He fumbled so badly that instead of turning it off, he made it louder and let even more zombies in. The windows were breaking. The group had no choice but to fight their way out. But just then, Sean noticed something was wrong. His mom looked pale and weak. She had been bitten earlier and hadn't told anyone. The glasses guy immediately insisted they eliminate the threat. Sean refused, threatening him with a beer bottle. While the two argued, his mother finally turned. Heartbroken, Sean had no choice. He picked up the shotgun and put her down himself. Everyone was crushed. Then, at the worst possible time, the glasses guy started mocking Sean. That was it. Sean snapped, turned, and punched him square in the face. The blow broke him completely. Furious and humiliated, the glasses guy stormed toward the window, shouting that he'd rather go alone, and the next second, zombies smashed through the glass, dragging him out. Everyone froze as they watched him die horribly. Liz, Asian, heartbroken, grabbed her boyfriend's severed leg as a weapon and charged into the horde, determined to fight to the death. Within moments, she was overwhelmed and devoured. Zombies flooded the bar from every side. Xiao Pang was bitten too. Sean and the last survivor dove behind the counter. Just when it seemed like the final battle against the zombies would be their last stand, a military truck suddenly burst onto the scene. It was the army's rescue team. Under the barrage of heavy gunfire, the zombies were quickly wiped out, and Sean and his friend were finally saved. 2.5 months later, the zombie crisis was mostly under control. The remaining undead who hadn't been destroyed were now being put to good use. They helped humans with simple daily tasks, even took part in TV shows and entertainment programs, becoming part of normal life again. As for Xiao Pang, who had turned into a zombie, Sean decided to keep him in his basement, and from then on, the two of them lived together, a strange, shameless, but oddly peaceful new life.